Hello and welcome to the McCloud podcast. And as promised, this is our part 2 with Mr. Antonio McCloud. I know a lot of you guys is asking when y'all gonna do the part 2. Well, we're making it happen right now. And remember, this platform is to help you become a better you. I'm Carl Rouse Sr., your host. And you know, when we left off last time with Mr. McCloud, we were actually talking about the Black Mafia. So what's happening, Antonio? What's good, man?
Well, everything going good.
It's good, bro.
I'm looking good financially.
Talk.
And, about to have a cookout tomorrow. It's about to be the 4th tomorrow.
Right.
You know, it's my brother's birthday tomorrow.
Okay, happy birthday.
So we're gonna cook out. Drink
Enjoy
a little
yourself.
bit, celebrate his birthday too.
Absolutely.
At the same time.
Absolutely, man. You know, again, man, I thank you again, man, for coming on and gracing us with your presence, Antonio. And, you know, as stated before, you know, that first interview we did, we wanted to do a part 2 because there's so much to talk about. It was so much to talk about, man. And then, so where we left off was the Black Mafia. So we can start right there. I can't remember the exact comment that you made, but you said you knew that the Black Mafia was
the ones that knocked out my car.
Knocked out your car windows.
And
so we can start from there.
So the thing about it is that the reason why I knew is because, first of all, they drive those signature cars, BMW, and it's specifically to get away from the cops. So it's like... when I was cleaning up my glass, you know, after I found out my car windows was knocked out, it was a guy, looked like he was from New York.
Yeah.
He was sitting in the BMW watching me clean up my glass. So I just looked and, you know, I was like, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and write this book.
Yeah.
You know, because, but then the other reason why, and after I got my car windows knocked out, I went back into the studio, did my last album, and Black Mob, Masons, and Illuminati was in there in the studio and asked the engineer to sit in on my session. So, and primarily because the album had been leaked, you know, like it wasn't no cussing on the album. It was a spiritual, political album. It had conscious rap in it. And, you know, so it was a powerful album.
Now, which album was this one?
It's called Knowledge Born. That's the album right there.
That's it right here.
Yeah.
So as you guys can see, I got my own personal copy right now from Antonio, and I'm going to check it out. Listen, man, he has about 12 tracks on here, and I'm looking at it. The intro, One Day, Long Time Coming, It's a Battle, Elijah, Ancestry, Armageddon, Brothers on Wall Street, Enter Into the Courts, Son of Man, One Race, and Peace, 155. I'm sorry, that's how long the song is, y'all. But
that's actually an outro.
Really?
Yeah, that's you know, like I was saying,
and that's you and your mother on the cover.
Me
right
and my
now.
mother. Yeah, I tried to emulate the Black Madonna and Child.
Got you.
Because every black man in America had the potential to be Black Jesus. We all are waiting to be devoured by the dragon.
Wow,
dealing with this system.
That's good stuff, man. So how long did it take you to get this album ready right here? What was the process like for you with this one right here, Antonio, on this particular album? I can tell it's very spiritual, though.
Well, I got to tell you a story.
Sure, go ahead.
After I finished the album, I would go in the studio twice a month for 3 months.
Yeah.
The album, the songs were, and the tracks were already ready. The lyrics were already written. I just had to have enough money every month to go in there to finish up the album.
Gotcha.
You know, I wasn't working with a lot of money at the time.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and so by the time I actually finished it, my whole body had just shut down because what I was saying was so spiritual, so much conscious thought, conscious rapping, and so much stuff dealing with politics. I talk about Trump in there. I talk about Pelosi going to get him. You know,
Yeah.
I talk about being emancipated. You know, I talked about a whole lot of stuff. You know, I was like, I pretty much said, if I was emancipated, how could the system fail me? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, all that's dealing with long time coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So this album has been one that you've been working on spiritually for a good little while. Have you always wanted this? But you know what? When I'm looking at this body of work that you have here, man, it seems to me that this was already in you, Antonio, from a spiritual standpoint. God had already given you this right here, man, because I'm looking at it, I'm like, the titles alone, man, it speaks of a experience that you have with God, you know, a relationship you have with God. And not only that, you'll connect with what's happening in our society with us as a people. So you're very connected. You're not disconnected at all. And it's from a very deep and spiritual place, too, as well as physically seeing it happening right in front of our eyes.
Oh, yeah.
For those of us that don't know what's happening, you're staying very vigilant, very aware. You're awakened to what's happening and what's to come. And sometimes only God can give you those type of revelations. So you have written this from a space where God is giving you some heavy revelation, you know, with this. Were you very particular in who you allowed to do beats for you, or did you do everything yourself, Antonio?
I had a software that I bought.
Okay.
And I did all the tracks myself.
Okay, then. Gotcha.
Some of them turned out pretty good. Some of them were kind of basic.
I understand.
But, you know, it didn't matter if the track was basic because what I was saying over the track was so powerful, it didn't need all of that in it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
You know, it just needed a baseline, you know, something simple for me to get across a message.
Yeah, yeah. Beautifully done, man. And I can't wait to actually sit down and listen to this whole album. I definitely have a chance to go into Charlotte on next week. I have a chance to probably just listen to the whole album as I ride.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I'm going to, bro. Trust me. And, you know, I see you and your mother on the cover of this album. Can you talk about your relationship with your mother and the value that it brings to you as a man and what it's done for you over the years?
Well, my mother was in my life from day one. She married the right man that would discipline me to become the man that I am today. With that discipline and being sharp. I was already street smart before she got married.
I got you.
You know, but what he showed me is the straight lace, upright thinking.
I got you. Yeah.
You know, he always tell me, think before you speak.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about it is that by the time they were married for about 4 years,
yeah,
I didn't really want to fight no more, like have fights and stuff like that. I kind of strayed away from that. I focused on little league football, and then by the time I got in the ninth grade, my mind was on getting a scholarship to college playing football.
Sure.
So, I didn't think the same. He was my father is an Army Ranger.
Oh wow, yeah.
And he's also a 33rd degree Mason now.
Okay, got you.
You know, so what I was learning was we talk about the black mob, but what I was learning was next to like mafia type thinking. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I mean, the thing about it is that and then there was some other things I wanted to say about the black mob because the guys I used to deal with in the music industry, they talk about hip hop and music being the corporation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they refer to it as.
Right.
Most of the people in the music industry are former dope dealers cleaning up their money.
Mm-hmm.
They just need the music industry to pay taxes to cover their money.
Yeah.
You know, so that don't necessarily mean that they out of the business dealing dope. It just means that they found a way to clean up their money.
Right.
And the music industry and the streets and the dope game go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like and I wanted to emphasize dealing with the corporation. The corporation is like it's equivalent to what the Illuminati is. And when you get around certain people that's in the music industry, they start talking about the corporation. You might want to walk away from them.
Mm-hmm.
Because first of all, you really don't know what you're getting into when you deal with a person like that. I don't glorify the corporation or Illuminati.
Mm-hmm.
If I did become Illuminati, I don't think that I would be selling out. I would think that I would be doing what's best for me financially.
I got you. Mm-hmm.
So it's just a lot of artists was still for the people while they was involved with the Illuminati.
Got you.
And they were still doing stuff, charities for people.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
down with the Illuminati.
I got you. Mm-hmm.
But I really don't think it's for me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I put it to you this way. If the 1% came to me, and you talk about the 1% people that are billionaires, almost trillionaires.
Yeah.
And they say, Antonio McCloud, we want you to be down with us.
Yeah.
I couldn't say no.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? Because first of all, that's power.
Yeah.
Secondly, that's money.
Mm-hmm.
Thirdly, that's respect.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
But but back to my mom though.
Yes, go ahead.
So
I got you.
My mother became a Christian when I was about five or six, and I saw a change in her.
Yeah.
By the time I was 24, she had became a minister.
Okay, gotcha. Mm-hmm.
And around the time when I was 24, she started a church called Word of Truth.
Okay.
I dedicated the whole album to her when she became a bishop.
Okay, gotcha.
So, and we have heated discussions about scripture.
Yeah.
And most of what I see or feel about God, she look at it as just being an illusion. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? So
I do.
So it's like she'd always tell me if you were really on assignment from God, you would carry yourself differently.
Mm.
You know, so it's like I got to be mindful of that. And then she told me I did a inspirational piece for my uncle when he passed away, and she read some of the stuff that was in there. She was like, take that part out, and you need to know your audience. You understand what I'm saying? This
Good
is
point.
the
Good point.
type of thing she coaching me on, you know.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
But she still have her own church to this day.
Okay, good stuff. What's the name of your mom's church, if you don't mind?
Word of Truth.
Okay, Word of Truth. You said that already. I didn't know whether or not she had changed it over the years.
No, she didn't change it.
Okay, then. So Word of Truth is the name of his mother's ministry. And that's good that you have those building blocks and that foundation up under you. And it sounds like a pretty solid foundation, bro, of individuals that have been there to help you navigate through things in life. And not only that, things that you were able to catch along the way on your own, which is probably even more valuable than we could ever imagine. On our last conversation that we had, you also talked about a letter. And I remember doing that particular show. I was like, man, I wish you would have bought it. Well, man, he bought it. And it's right here in front of my face. And I'm telling you, you guys will see a clip of it. But, really to read this, I got goosebumps. You know what I'm saying? I did, man. I got goosebumps. And you were a voice for the voiceless, man, during this time for the people, man. And it's the official signature of Mr. Barack Obama, where he actually wrote you a letter back, which, wow, man. It's beautiful. And I'm looking at history right here. And he actually wrote this in 2012. And, even from the beginning of it, it's almost like you can hear him saying this. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with me. Many Americans have written to me about human rights around the world, and I appreciate your perspective. That's a big deal, because sometimes that's all we have is our perspective. It's based off of our own life experiences, and so you can't judge that.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, if you know something's out there going wrong in the world and you don't speak on it, you just as guilty as the people that's perpetuating it.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And the fact that you had the audacity, the nerve and audacity to write the letter was pretty bold within itself. To say, I'm going to send this out. I'm going to tell him how I feel about this and come correct with your perspective and how you feel about it. And I'm sure you articulated it well, man, in your writing. So this is how it definitely got his attention, because he wrote you back. And that's a big deal. And can you tell the folks again what this letter was in reference to, again, if you don't mind? I know we heard it on the first one, but if you can kind of remind the people.
Well, the thing about it is that the Syrian conflict was a big deal at the time he was in office.
Yeah.
And I was asking for us to send our troops to Syria, not just based on what was going on in Syria, but Russia had a foothold in Syria along with China. In the resolution, I talked about the trading between Russia and China that, and this might be far-fetched, but my thing was why they was trading with Syria.
Yeah.
They were also supplying them with chemical warfare. So, and then Russia has a naval base in Syria. And these are the two major countries that are involved with Syria on a level of trade and a level and militarily.
Got you.
So I address the possibility of what could have been going on, dealing with Russia and China being in Syria. And he wrote me back talk about humanitarian efforts across the world and how we choose to handle a threat to humanitarian.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he talked about handling everything peacefully.
Yeah. It's basically what it's saying too. I read it earlier, as you alluded to. I read this.
It wasn't so much. I thought that he would be like other presidents, and I found out that the way he chose to go about things was completely different. I mean, I guess he didn't want to be known as a war president.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So but it was a lot going on in the world, and at the time, Syria was like the axis of evil.
Yeah, it's true.
So it needed our attention.
Yeah, that's so true.
And the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, the Palestinian-Israeli conflict was like, I don't mean to say nothing bad about Palestinians or nothing like that, but Jews are the chosen people, and I don't like the fact that the Palestinians are in Israel being treated as a second-class citizen. Mm-hmm. So my thing was have them evacuate and not have to go through that.
Right.
Because be honest with you, Palestinians come from Egypt, and this Mohammed Morsi was an option for them to go into Egypt. He was coordinating different things with Hillary Clinton in Egypt, and I was like, since they doing that, then why don't they just get the Palestinians out of there and we'll solve this? It'll be peace.
Yeah.
We'll solve this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. Let me ask you this, Antonio. Do you foresee yourself having a career in politics? Or do you consider just to continue to see yourself as being a person that's an activist on the outside and maybe not an activist on the inside?
I think that it's possible that I'll probably be in politics. Mm-hmm. I've been asked to run for office.
Yeah, I think you should.
By Masons, former Panther members.
Yeah, I think you should.
I understand politics well.
Yeah.
But how I would operate would be more so for the people.
Yeah. And it should be that way. The government should be working for us, to help solve a lot of the issues. But not only that, actually putting them in place and putting the people in place that can make it happen, for those that need it, So I think that's absolutely great, man. I would love to see you run for office. You got my vote over here, bro. If you decide to, we'll do a little short campaign for you over here, my brother. If you decide to do so. You alluded to earlier about Jews being the chosen people, and the question where I'm really trying to go is if we shift gears a little bit. We spoke a little bit about Kanye. Kanye has been very outspoken about how he feels about certain things within the industry. And I wanted to know your take on Kanye and a lot of the things that he voices. And sure, we have the freedom of speech. We have a right to that. We have a right to say pretty much what we want to say because of those laws that are put in place. But you brought up something pretty significant when we were talking earlier. So if you would, can we kind of rebuild on that again, or you build on that again and kind of tell us your perspective on, I think it was the Black Lives, White Lives Matter, when he did something about a shirt and this and that. But I really, really want to hear your perspective on it, brother, on, your thoughts about Kanye and, your perspective on that whole thing that he said.
My thoughts on Kanye is that he is a very intelligent person.
Yeah.
He doesn't explain what he does to where people can understand.
I got you. Mm-hmm.
So when he did the White Lives Matter shirt at the modeling fashion show, I got one or two thoughts from it. Sure. My first thought was this. According to the Moors, white is just status. If you make $100,000 a year, you got a house, you got a couple of cars. From a perspective of status, you're considered white. So really, for me, what he did wasn't an insult because I got a house and a car and a steady income.
I got you.
So not that I'm trying to be white or nothing like that.
I got
but
you.
According to the Moors, white is just status. It's not a race.
Right.
It's not a color. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, it take a whole lot to offend me. But the thing about it is, when I sort it all out and try to understand for myself,
Sure.
and get the deeper meaning within what's being said and what's being done, then our own people, ought to do that more often. Instead of condemning, you should actually
That's a question.
Yeah, you
Like
actually
why?
find out why. Why is he
why
doing
did you
it?
do
Like,
that? Right,
why did he say slavery was a choice?
Yeah.
So, and then I thought about it. I was like, well, if you ask Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner, is slavery a choice?
Yeah.
They'll probably say it is a choice.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
the cost of actually trying to be free
Sure.
is death, and it's a choice on whether you're gonna live or die. It's not a choice of like oh, we stupid for staying there and being slave.
Right.
We just weak and we just dumb and slow to where we don't want to run away.
Yeah.
That's
I
not the
got you.
case.
No. Not
This is how he put it.
Yeah.
So when he says slavery is a choice, it's an insult.
I get what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying? Because we know that ain't true.
So let me play devil's advocate here for a moment. Let's just say hypothetically he wasn't talking about slavery so far as us as people, but he was referring to slavery like slavery from the standpoint of the music industry, from the entertainment industry, from owning your own masters to owning everything that you put out there. What would you say to those that say that's what he's referring to instead of slavery from the standpoint of us as a people being enslaved to white folks?
Well, I'll put it to you this way.
Go right ahead.
Based on, say you work in a job.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what they get paid and what you getting paid, you getting pimped. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't necessarily slavery because you seeing some type of profit.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, in the music industry, in the entertainment industry, we are all being pimped.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't necessarily like to call it. It ain't actual slavery because you get something for your
labor,
for your labor, yeah, for what you do, your craft,
yeah.
So it's not. Once we figure out a way to get paid more,
yeah,
then we're choosing to not be slave, to not be pimp.
Yeah.
Once we equal out the playing field, and be on the same level as somebody that's the owner of a corporation, because to be honest with you, a lot of our people have figured it out, and it's a third. I mean, out of all the businesses that's in America, 30% of them are owned by black people. These are facts.
Facts,
So, we have black billionaires.
Yeah, we do.
We have a lot of black millionaires.
Oh, yes.
And they all up and through Atlanta. So.
Yeah, we got a few in this area. We got a few here in North Carolina.
Yeah, we got
a few. We got some. But I get what you're saying.
So even somebody, an athlete that's making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
They not making billions of dollars though. They still getting pimped. Even with what they making.
Good point.
You know. So
point.
I mean, so listen.
I see your point. Mm-hmm.
So listen.
That's great perspective too. Great perspective on that too. Though.
Until we get together and try to own NFL team franchise.
Yeah.
Until we get together and try to own a major corporation. Until we get together, put our money together, and the White House is up for sale. Until we decide we want to buy it, we're going to still be in this predicament.
We're still going to be in this predicament. You know, I don't want to misquote anybody. I would hate to misquote anybody, but I remember J.R. Reed was bringing, and I think it was J.R. Reed. If it wasn't J.R. Reed, it was another athlete, but I think he was making reference to something similar to this. If it wasn't him, please forgive me. But I thought for some reason it was him. You know, I think he posed the question. He was like, "Well, to your point, as you said it so well, you know, why don't we put our money together and build a health and fitness facility? You know, put our money together to open up recreation centers all over, get our kids off the streets. Why don't we open up our own restaurants and hire our own people to begin to, why don't we put our money together to build up our neighborhoods just as they did many years ago? And then, you know, of course, we went through Black Wall Street, Wilmington, Durham, North Carolina, these areas where it was all just washed away, wiped away. And I'm sure there's other stories out there, that history facts that show that something as tumultuous as that happening at Black Wall Street, where it wiped out a whole race of people for being innovative and smart enough to say, hey, we're going to start our own. We're going to pay for our own. We're going to educate ourselves. We're going to help each other, just as they did in the Harlem Renaissance. You know what I'm saying? We saw black men evolve and continue to evolve and become better, and the black family evolving and this and that. You know, I personally, man, I would like for us to, I wish we could do that. Why more black creatives are not working together? There's so much tension and so much ego and so much arguing and fussing. And, you know, if one is able to get in, then why don't we just team up with that one so we all can get there together? We all will get there. You know, it may not be as fast as we would like it to. But when you think about the black dollar is strong. Why do you think they call it Black Friday? The black dollar is strong, man.
Because we the ones spending the most money.
Spending the most money, and we ain't got it like that, but we spend the most money, Antonio.
Collectively,
it'd be nice if we could do that, you know.
Yearly, we spend $1 trillion.
Easy.
That's how. Yes. That's how black dollar run.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about the culture from a standpoint of us as a people, look, man, Nike wouldn't be nothing without us, bro. Michael Jordans, we buy Jordans, we buy Air Force Ones, we buy that. Now, sure, everybody else buy it, but we buy it in strong amounts. I don't think I've ever seen, unless that child just has come from a place where he can't afford them. But most of our kids, they got them on. The retros, they got them on, man. Air Force Ones, whatever it is. We buy Gucci. We spend money, and sometimes we spend money that we do not have, man. So the black dollar is strong, and if we can just kind of wrap our minds around that and go even deeper, you know, look at what Tyler Perry is doing. You know,
he got his own compound.
Yeah, man. So I mean, irregardless if you agree with anything about how he got there, that ain't none of my business. That's how I feel about it. But
he helping other people.
But he helping other people get to the destination that they want to get to. Oprah Winfrey, you know. So this move with BET, that was a huge move, man. BET, VH1, I think it was a collaborative. I think it was a whole ordeal, if I'm not mistaken. But
Oprah was in on it.
Oh, of course. Come on now. So to have those two come together speaks volumes to us. It should. Speaks volumes to us. That's never been done. And it's happening now.
Well, Oprah has a history of confronting the powers that be.
Oh, absolutely.
And anybody in her way.
Anybody in her way.
Yeah.
So that's good that those two were able to come together and to know that Tyler Perry has done what he's doing. Oh man, so we can just kind of wrap our minds around that, man. We can kind of see what's happening. Even with Jay-Z and what he's doing, I don't think people really can see in the background what he's doing. We look so much at, this right here wasn't right, and this right. Oh, okay, man, I know it.
But nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect, and business is very ugly when you get to a certain level.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
It's nasty.
I mean, people like Kanye, why don't he just say that he don't like the way Jews do business instead of vilifying what Jews are?
Correct.
So it's like, just because you got swindled in a contract,
absolutely,
don't make that Jew a bad person.
Nah, it just mean you got swindled in that contract. You didn't read the contract.
You didn't understand straight business.
Yeah, but that's the purpose of having everybody. That team got to be tight, and that's the reason why you have people take their time and read those contracts. Because the devil's in the details. Whatever you need, it's in there.
The devil's in the details.
He's somewhere hiding.
Yeah.
You got to find him, though.
Yeah.
You got to look for him.
That's why we pay lawyers.
That's why we pay lawyers. Because they'll find that joker inside or whatever it is, bro. He in there somewhere sitting. You just got to look. You got to read. You got to search him out, sniff him out, and then there you go. You'll find it. You'll find it. And when you do, it'll be like, oh, wait a second. This right here ain't gonna work. We need to change the verbiage on that. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that we understand what's been said, how it's been said, and who it's been said about, and who to. And so I'm glad that we have you come on this platform, Antonio, man, because you bring a lot of knowledge. A lot of things that you've seen in your past, and actually what you do. This is what you do. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing fake. This is who you are.
That's who I am.
Yeah, it's who you are. So that's valuable within itself. I do want to ask you this, Antonio. How important do you think it is for us? And I know the answer, but I really want to hear from you. What are your thoughts about us as a people being more in tune with what's happening with what's happening within our government, and how important it is for us to be engaged, to be vigilant, to pay attention? How important is that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what the problem was.
Okay.
In the past,
yeah,
we didn't have a description of who we were running for office. So it's like, hey, how can this guy of this other race represent me? And then we had Obama to vote for, and they came out in record numbers.
Yeah.
So it's like we need more of our black faces in politics.
Yeah.
For us to really want to be involved.
I got you. Yeah.
But we should be involved anyway.
Yeah, we should be.
I mean, but it shouldn't be just because of that.
Right. I got you.
You understand what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of politicians that's doing stuff for our community that we could get on board with, that we need to pay attention to. I've been paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Like I use an example.
Sure.
They came to me 2002 about being in the commercial with Alan Jones.
Okay, yeah.
He had never been the mayor yet.
Wow.
He had never been mayor yet. I did a campaign commercial, shaking hands with Alan Jones, and then they explained to me that he was grassroots, and he come from a grassroots organization.
Yeah.
So when you talk about that blackface being present. Me shaking hands with him in the commercial.
Yeah.
All the black people went out and voted for him.
I see your point.
You know, so and then he showed and proved that he was for the people because he renovated and redid Happy Hill Gardens,
Yeah.
Boston projects.
Yep. Sure did.
He redone them places.
Yeah.
And rebuilt them places and made them look better. They're still rebuilding.
Yeah.
They're still tearing down old projects and making them habitable. You know, so now I didn't know all that was gonna go on when I did the commercial.
Sure, of course not.
But I'm glad it did.
I got you. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Your presence was seen, and then that influenced the black vote to say, hey, that's Antonio.
And he's still in office to this day.
Yeah, he really is. He ain't going nowhere.
No.
Nah. I
did my intern in his office too.
Oh, did you
Yeah.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
So he allowed me to do that.
Oh man, beautiful, man. That's good, rich history. That's good stuff to know, Antonio, man. I tell you, man. I wish we could push more of our kids to go into the political arena, but I think, as you said, for so long we felt like, you know, we don't have a voice in that arena. And I think it's changing. I think it's slowly but surely begin to change even more so the more we stay conscious about how these laws, they affect you directly. You may not realize it, but they do. And they affect me, they affect you. The next, and in some cases it's not color. But boy, you got to read the verbiage. And when you read the verbiage, you'll really, really start kind of understanding what's said. But go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you about that.
Sure, go ahead.
Because when I learned the constitutional law with Larry Little,
Yeah.
he showed the old Constitution
That thing
with
was nasty.
having us with as 3/5 of a human
Yes, sir.
and all that,
Yes, sir.
and then versus what the Constitution is now.
Yeah, true.
You know, so yeah. So then I lost my train of thought.
That's okay. It'll come back. It'll come back. If it's come back, just just interrupt.
I mean, my mind be going so many different places, man. My mind be all over the place.
Yeah. But Antonio, this is good stuff, man. I mean, we was able to touch on quite a bit that we said we wanted to. I definitely really do appreciate you bringing the letter in. This right here, man, I'm sitting here looking at it like, wow, this good stuff, man. It shows that you have the power. You just have to use it.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to use your voice. And you may not be able to articulate it, with everything, from a verbal, with your abbreviation. I mean, not abbreviations, but definitions and words and how to say it. And you may not be able to do that, but it's just you saying it, with the right passion, and all you need is a few words to work together for you, and you can get it out into the atmosphere and say what needs to be said, and then get the attention that you need. And that had to be a blessing, that we had a black president to be able to respond. You know what I'm saying? Respond back to you in such a gracious way, which I wouldn't expect anything else from him.
Well, I got some news for you.
Come on with it. Come on with it.
In March of last year,
Yeah.
I sent a resolution to Biden dealing with reparations.
Oh wow! Have you heard anything yet?
No, but from the looks of it, they doing this state by state. Like, but Rhode Island gave out reparations, and California is supposed to be giving anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000 to disenfranchised blacks all over California.
Wow!
And that is actually, we talking about it in the month that they supposed to release all this.
Oh wow! I got you.
It was due for July, and we in July.
Yeah.
And so I talked about in the resolution, last to get hired, first to get fired. The whole affirmative action thing.
Yeah.
How it has failed.
Yeah.
I talked about our 40 acres that was promised after Reconstruction.
Yeah.
I talked about free education.
Yeah.
You know, and these are things that universities can get tax write-offs from.
Gotcha.
You know, so
I got you.
if we was to get a free education, they get a tax write-off.
Gotcha.
You know, so I don't see how anybody losing anything.
Okay, I got
You
you. What do you think about the state of the HBCUs right now? Do you think we'll still have them, do you think after a while we're going to lose them?
I think we're going to still have them because
Okay.
I think Deion Sanders coaching Jackson State shined the light on the HBCU.
It did.
But we always been there, and we always been prominent. We always been the example.
Yeah.
For the rest of the people.
Yeah, that's right, man.
We always been that way.
Always been that way.
You know, so it's not. I mean, I wasn't shocked or surprised that he chose to coach at Jackson State.
Right.
I wasn't at all.
Right.
Because it's rich history.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's rich.
Man.
We rich.
Yeah, exactly. We rich. That's right, man.
This melanin rich.
Yes. Yeah, it's very rich, brother. That's right.
I know I get you to laugh.
Oh, man. But you telling the truth, brother. It is, man.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, you know. Anytime you can advance and get to another plateau, that means that we grow as a people, as a culture. That means we have the opportunity to get in these rooms too. You know, I think if people can kind of look at the big picture.
Hey, I heard Farrakhan say, he was like, there's a few of you in a few smoke-filled rooms calling that the mainstream, while the masses of the people. He said, the smoke-filled rooms, that's where all the decisions are made.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
He be right on it, man.
Yeah, he be on it. Yes, sir. Yes, he does.
But check this out, though.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of ironic that what my life has become.
Yeah.
Because Jesse Jackson was like a famous frat brother from A&T with the football frat.
Okay.
He played football at A&T.
Okay, gotcha.
C5C, that was our famous frat brother.
Okay.
Jesse Jackson went to A&T. I went to A&T.
Right.
Farrakhan went to WSSU.
Yep.
I went to WSSU.
Gotcha.
You know, so it's like here we talking about a Christian and an Islamic leader. And I done did and dab in both of them.
Right.
You know, so
right.
I got a Quran along with the Holy Bible at my house.
Yeah. I think you should study both.
Yeah,
I think you should.
So, you know, I mean, the commonality of the Quran is like is a little bit more intense.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely it is. But you know, Antonio, man, you bring up so many great points, man, and so many valuable things that a lot of us can just learn from, man. You know, because some of the stuff that you say on here now, I don't know everything. So sometimes you shed light on things.
Well, you shed light on me. I don't some stuff I don't know.
So you know, I'm just real excited about what God is doing for you in your life, man, and the direction that you're going in. And you know, if don't nobody else tell you, man, I'm gonna tell you, bro. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of yeah, man. I'm proud of you, man, and proud of the changes that you made, and proud of the things that you are doing, where your mind is, the things that you know, just a lot of the different things that you're doing. And we kind of talked about it a little bit and we'll get ready to close it out. But I definitely want you to come back again, man, because we always have such great conversations, man.
It's always some new things happening.
It's always some new things happening, man. So let's talk about some of the new stuff that you got going on. As you alluded to earlier, you talked a little bit about one of your artists on your label. If you would, can you talk a little bit about that, Antonio, if you don't mind?
Well, I like to call this artist Mr. Machiavelli nephew.
Okay,
and,
all right.
He
must say some prolific stuff then.
Oh yeah, he says some prolific stuff.
Okay, right on.
His real name is Will.
Okay.
But I can't get into what
I understand
all the stuff that he affiliated with because it may put us in danger.
Okay, then say no more. Say no more. We don't want no smoke coming this way.
Yeah.
We don't want no problems.
Yeah, I wanted to say it, but I like
we'll leave it alone.
We'll leave it alone.
Yeah, we'll leave that alone.
Yeah, but they call him Mr. Machiavelli nephew. His name Will. He was like, man, when you gonna start up that label?
Yeah.
He ready.
Yeah, he's ready. Yeah.
He say whatever deal I get, you're gonna be at the table with me before I sign it.
That's right. That's good stuff. Yeah.
So I had him in my video, which is at 10,000 views now.
All right.
And I promote my YouTube videos.
And what's that song that YouTube?
40 years.
40
years video.
There it is. 40 years video. I got you.
And I actually have an article on Hype Magazine website.
Yes.
And This Is 50 website.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm on about 15 different blogs with indie music, the underground stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have a clothing line out called Pandora Apparel.
Okay,
that's Pandora, Pandira Apparel.
How can the folks get your apparel?
You got to pull up Pandora Apparel, Pandira Apparel.
Okay, there it is. You guys heard it here first on the Ross Cloud podcast. Maybe not the first, but right now it's the first. I'm saying it's the first.
Yeah.
We have the wonderful pleasure of sitting here building and chopping it up a little bit with Mr. Antonio McCloud. Brother, like always, man, it's always a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure to have you here, man. And I'm glad you was able to come back and rebuild on that conversation about the Black Mafia and just give us a little bit of insight on that.
Oh, yeah, because it's deeper than everybody think it is.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. As I asked you in the last conversation we had, do you still find yourself looking over your shoulder from time to time?
I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
I mean,
say no more.
So, all of God's prophets died violently. And Christ was crucified. So
very violent.
So it's like I would hope that I will be going to heaven.
Sure.
But that's not guaranteed. So it's like I've been assured that I would rest when in my death before the judgment.
Sure.
So I would have that rest for that time period until I get judged by God, which is a needed rest.
Yeah.
Not in a hurry to die, though.
Right, no.
Not in a hurry to die.
Oh, no, sir.
Somebody, a powerful person who has a lot of insight on that, say you're going to rest before you get judged. So,
Yeah.
So why sleep now?
Hey. Yes, sir. So tell the folks how can they get your music, where can they go to get your music? But before we say that, you said something a few minutes ago about your albums being on a platform or something like that. You got awarded something? You got an award for something, Antonio? Or was it, I don't know what you said. I can't remember.
It was on Apple Music playlist.
Yeah, it was on Apple Music playlist, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
That means it's in heavy rotation.
Yeah.
That means people are listening to it. Mm-hmm. So that's what you said.
Yeah, and it's I'll find you.
Yeah. I know,
so,
and you did.
Godfather Hip Hop Hotep Godfather Hip Hop Part 3.
That's it.
Is on the Apple playlist, and it's also on Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music. You can find it anywhere on social media, on online stores. My book, Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. All you have to do is put in Ghostwriter Antonio McCloud. And I have Pandora Apparel, which is Pandira apparel. And please support me. A lot of the money that I make goes back into the community and also to my family. You never know how you can help other impoverished people by supporting me.
That's right. I absolutely love it, man. Thank you for plugging everything, and thank you again, Antonio McCloud, for coming on, man. The Ross Cloud Podcast, man. We really do appreciate you and what you have to offer to our world and to our society. And in closing, if you could say something positive to someone that could help them become better, what would you say?
Well, we talked about people getting swindled in contracts, so it's like, don't take no wooden nickels. Put your best foot forward in whatever you do. Always work hard because the return is great. Be active in your community. You see the fruits from that as well.
Yes, sir.
You got to really don't make yourself do it. Just if you have a passion, do it.
Just do it. Yeah.
So it's like naturally, I was raised to be for my family and the people.
Yeah.
So if that's your calling, you could do what I do. But I mean, if it's not your calling, don't mess with it.
Don't mess with it. Hey, that's good stuff. There it is. So listen, I hope something was said to you guys that can help you become better, help you become a better you. This has been a great conversation. Listen, make it a great day. This is the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm Carl Sr. Peace.